Hey, Chanel here, Queen of Skirts. I was out shopping, found a new panel with beautiful birds on it. Have a new skirt idea. Show you what it is. Coming up. So I just got back from California, went on a little vacation to Big Bear, one of my favorite places in California. And it's this little mountain resort town up in the hills of San Bernardino. And boy, the mountain was treacherous. I forgot how windy it was. I was a little dizzy. Anyway, so whenever I'm in a new town, of course, I have to go looking at the fabric stores and drag my husband along. And this time my friend came too, but she had fun. So I actually have to show you this skeleton that was in front of one of the quilt shops. I put a photo here, and it's like, my friend Jackie's husband didn't want to come to the fabric store at all. He was all ready to go with us, and as soon as we said, we got to stop at a fabric store, he bolted anyway. And then we showed him this picture. So anyway, so found two quilt shops there right across the street from each other. Pretty cool, really. Really nice people in there. But I found this. So I happen to love cotton, so quilt shops, I've just discovered, I just started shopping in them, and I was like, wow, you got some beautiful fabrics in here. But I found this. I love this print. I really like geometrics and all kinds of shapes, even like the skirt behind me. I just, that's my thing, I guess. Anyway, so I thought, I have my Supima white cotton, and I have a little bit left of the black Supima cotton, and boy, wouldn't this work cool with this? I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but something's brewing. It'll happen. Hopefully soon. Anyway, then I found, oh gosh, went in there, and I know my friend Anne-Marie and Mike walked away from me when I saw this. They saw my eyes bug out, and I found this. Oh, in Big Bear, it's a bear. And there's a waterfall there, and I love the blues in here. And I actually ended up in LA at Mood Fabric and got a blue fabric that I forgot to pull out to show you. But and I had packed this, and my husband went home early, and he took it, and I was in the fabric store going with like bolts of blue. Like in Mood, they have them in colors, which is so cool. And you don't realize, you don't know the color until you see all the colors around, and you're like, oh, what blue is it? But then I did pull out a blue, and it matched. But I have a new skirt idea for this, and the blue is not included. So the blue will just go in my stash with all my other fabric. But this one is coming soon. So, and actually, I found another fabric I found, which is what I'm going to work on today, is got birds in it right here. And I love birds. I don't know if you saw my last video. Was it, what I call it, Craftcation. So Stacy and I we went to vacation at my house, and we had 3 days of crafting. That was a video I just put out a few weeks ago, or maybe it was a while ago, I can't remember. Anyway, but we ended up making bird skirts. I discovered her cricket does stencils, and we did this bleaching treatment on it and created these great birds. So I've loved birds forever. I think because in LA all we have is little sparrows, and when I moved here, there's cardinals. I remember when it was snowing one day, with like me and snow, I don't know, but I remember just looking out the window and just seeing all the cardinals, and I'm like, why don't they have any snow on them? It's just like flakes off. I don't know, but I just was like fascinated with birds. So I'll probably become a bird watcher when I'm older. Like, because I even have books on birds. I've done that all my life now that I think about it. Anyway, so anyway, where were we? So I have this bird, just this panel. This is all it is. It's just one panel, and it's a square one, so it's a little bit of a, can't do much with it. But I have, let's see, I went to my stash, and I found this fabric. It's a silk dupi oni, and if you actually cut it crossways, there's the kind of the pattern goes this way, the little stripes. So I'm going to cut it, I'm going to cut everything cross grain because I like the subtle vertical going that way. But look how it matches this right here. It kind of works together. It's just even the textures, like the trunk of the tree and all that stuff. Then I also, in my stash, found this. This is a gray washed charmeuse, so it gets sueded like that. It's real soft. Can you feel it? It's pretty cool. So I'm going to put these three together. It's not a direct match on here, but the grays are, there's so many grays, it's good. So I wanted to show you a picture of my bird skirt, so you kind of see an idea what I'm doing. And then I got to show you the pattern. I got to find, oh, this is the pattern. This was the pattern I used for the bird skirt. And it was kind of like I was with Stacy, we were just looking through patterns, and I was trying to find something really simple to do because I was just doing this bleaching thing on it and didn't want to ruin my fabric. And I found this pattern in my stash. I think I had just bought it. And really simple pattern. This is the back of it. Although there's a panel in here, like this little panel. It has a side seam on it, and that you can't see it in any of the sketches here. So if you bought this, you'd be like, you go, oh, where'd that come from? Anyway, it was kind of cool. But this is my little Post-it note that I did of what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the Dupioni here, the gray here, and the birds panel here. And then I drafted my own pattern from that pattern right here. And this is actually the part that goes, it's just a cut one. It goes, I'm going to put this on the right hip. I'm going to do the bear one also in this and put this on the left hip. Or is it vice versa? I don't know. I wrote it on here somewhere. I put a Post-it note. Birds right side up because it's only a cut one. So this is it fits perfectly with the bird. Anyway, so this is the muslin right here. I always do muslins it's called a toil, actually, after you do the muslin. Sometimes I just call it muslin. I'm so glad I did. I tried it on, and it had a little funny shape to it, so I was able to alter it. I altered the pattern. I don't know. Might pop out again. I don't know. But this is this is the gray, the gray silk panel here. This is the Dupioni, and then this is going to be the bird part. I also, on the original pattern, it had a seam down here, and it was narrower. So I did no seams, so we'd get no interruptions on the birds. We don't want to ruin their flight. I just said that anyway. So the birds are going to go there, and then it's the same on the front and the back. So 3 pieces, 3 different colors, and see how this turns out. I'm going to get to cutting it. All right, got this all lined up. I have this cut on the cross grain, and still going to have extra fabric left over. Sit in my closet for another 20 years. And I'm going to pink this fabric because, I use my pinking shears in case you don't know what those are, because this fabric frays like crazy. I'm just going to, and it also cuts really funny too. I'm just going to cut 2 of these out and then move on to the next. All right, got this one lined up. Turns out this piece of silk charmeuse was kind of cut off right here. I have actually a piece here, and then down here I have the full piece. So I don't remember what I made out of it, but that's good. I have the little narrow piece right here, and that's all I need of that one. But I had a nice tear right here down the cross grain, so I was able to at least get that lined up with the grain line. And then I had a fold in here, which doesn't always necessarily mean it's on the right grain, but it gives me a guideline of get this all balanced out at first. I'm also using my little magic pins, and when you're working with silks like this, or even real fine fabrics, these silk pins will go through your fabric really easily and not damage your fabric. Now this fabric is very slippery, and I actually have it right sides together. It also has a nap. That's why I'm cutting it down this way, because I looked, and when it goes down that way, it's the shade looks a little darker, which I like. So you have to make sure you follow the nap, and put a lot of pins in it to avoid it from slipping. I know a lot of people, when I watch them sew, they don't put pins in it, and when your shears come through here to cut, they move the pattern around a lot. So I put a lot of pins in. Just got to get practiced pinning a lot. Just, try not to put your hands underneath here. This is how I pin right here. I just go down and up like that. And I try not to move the fabric, just go down and up like that. And then you'll get your pins on really easily. So this is the middle part. I'm gonna cut this out, and then I gotta cut the birds out. Oh no. Okay, now I'm gonna cut out my bird panel. The good thing is I just bought this, and if I mess it up, I can call the store and get another one. I think it was probably about $15 for this one panel, so it's kind of a lot anyway, but not really. Anyway, so I have birds here that I really want to focus on. I want to get them in the center, and then these other birds here, especially this one a little bit bigger, I'm going to be trimming them out and putting them on the other parts of the skirt somewhere. I don't quite know where yet, so I don't want to cut any of these guys here. And then I want to get this big guy kind of in the center. And this fabric has a selvage right here, so I'm able to get it on the length grain. I put it on the board, or no, actually it is going to be on the length grain because the panel goes this way. Because I believe in grain lines a lot. And they go off the grain. This is actually cut on the fold. If I cut one, and so that's the grain line there. Just going to get this right on the grain, and I'm going to try to avoid this bird here and that bird there, and also not chop off too much of that bird. Man, he was only over it just a little bit more. I may not be able to do that bird. So, because I don't want to get that one out there. Bummer. I only have 2 birds, but that's actually going to be fine. I could actually even photocopy that other bird and do a print on another piece of fabric. There's that fabric stuff. Okay, there is grain, all fits. I'm going to pin this all down. I can see right through this paper. Birds here, the big trunk of the tree is right here. And there's another tree trunk right there. So pin this all down, trimming them around here, and figure out what else to do with it. All right, I'm going to continue on with this. Now I got to clip all the notches on all my patterns. So the notches on this curve part are really important, so everything matches up really accurately. Just do these little tiny ones. I also have a center notch here. That will tell me where it matches up the seam. Finish these up. Notches are very important. If the notches don't match, something's wrong. Well, I got all my skirt panels cut out. That's what I love about skirts. They're so much easier to cut out. Usually less pieces. But I have to come back tomorrow to start the sewing process because I have a couple teenagers to teach sewing to. See you tomorrow. Well, I'm back for sewing. And this is all there is. Just a few little pieces. So crazy how just these little pieces turn into a skirt. Oh, so I had an idea overnight. With the panel, I love to put pipings and ribbons and edgings in between seams a lot. It really helps accent the pieces. So I was at home and I had this like red ribbon that I used for my brochures, and I thought, what if I put this red ribbon in there? But what I want to do is put it where the birds are, right? This is the bird panel, and then put it right along here. And I noticed I pushed the seam down this way, which means that ribbon's going to pop up here, and this will kind of, because of the curve, it really needs a bias. So then I was like, well, scratch the ribbon. So I have bias tape, but I found this, and it's not bias, but it's a lace. This I have on my little stash of trims. I think I'm going to use this tiny little edge right here and just poke that part right there from 5/8 inch out. So what I'll do is I'll cut this 5/8 and sew it exactly at 5/8. So just that part pokes out, and it'll be right on the edge. And because it's so small, this will have a little bit of a stretch to it like that. So just real subtle to help, I don't know, pull the seams together. I love doing piping. So I'm going to start, that's where I'm going to start. Then I had to, you ever have to like decide what thread to use? And I was like, what color do you use? I have a dark gray, a very light gray, which is almost white, and then the panel. I found my favorite thread in my stash, Malaniki. Can never pronounce it, but I guess they don't sell this anymore from what I hear. So sad. I think it's from Sweden or Switzerland, something with an S. But this is a long fibered polyester, and I'm going to use that when I get to the lighter part, because that silk dupioni is pretty, needles don't like it and all, and I want to use smooth thread in it. Also, I'm going to change out my needle, make sure I get a nice fresh one, and I'm going to use an 11 for woven fabrics. I usually like to use the knit needles on everything, but I bought the woven. I hope those are wovens. So I have all these different colors in here, and I don't really want the thread to show. So we get started on that binding part, and then we'll put this all together and wear it tomorrow. All right, have my lace all cut, and I had actually just folded it in half and cut this right in half because I only had so much yardage. There's actually a lot of length here on this panel, so I would have run out if it wasn't so wide. So then I also added, or I put in my 5/8 inch marks right here, because I'm going to take the edge of that line on this lace right here and line it right up to that mark. And when I'm sewing too, I'm going to make sure that that edge is right on that mark, because if I sew everything exactly 5/8, this should actually just turn out and be right on the edge right there. That's the goal, so to all be even. Also, to help it turn around this curve, I clipped the lace in here. So when you clip, it's called clipping the curves. I have a video out about that also. It helps the fabric roll, so it's not on the bias, but at least I can give that, because I think it's kind of a slight, well, it is a pretty good curve, but it's a small trim, so I think it should be okay. All right, I'm gonna go and baste this on. Got the lace basted on, just did a white thread, and I didn't iron off those marks. This is the friction pen, so those little marks, I wanna see if I get right on it, but I think I'll probably know if it, I hope so. I'll probably have a few that go in and out like that, but what are you gonna do? So then I have my middle color. I sewed, this is the side seam right here, and then this goes, let's see, this whole gray will go like this, and I have a notch right here that shows me where the center, that side seam is right there. So this will have to go this way, and then it will, all this will get sewn around, and I got to follow my notches really well. So exactly 5/8, and then it will come out like this. And then I'll press it, and then it will be like that. That's the hope. Right. Okay, this is a lot of pins. I have it all the way around. I put a lot of pins in there so that I know if it's going to be stretching, because this fabric really wants to stretch more than the cotton. And I'm putting them all together here. So lots of pins. I might even sew over the pins. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But a lot of times when you're sewing and things start stretching out before you get to the other pin, you know when it's stretching. That's one bonus of lots of pins. I know a lot of people don't use pins when they're sewing, and to me, I was trained with them, and it just makes my sewing more even, and nothing stretches out of shape, and much easier. So this is how the goal is. If I sew exactly 5/8, this should peek out just a little bit and accent this panel just ever so slightly. All right, to the sewing machine. Well, I nailed that. Got that exactly right on there. There's a couple spots where I'm just a little in there, but I actually had to sew it slow. I don't do that well. Actually, on my new machine, I have the fast, slow thing, and I put it on the middle. So I was like, eh. And I was like, One of my little magic tools I used was a seam, magnetic seam guide. And actually I have this on my website on futurefashiondesigners.com under the stuff, and because it's one of our favorite tools here. And I just put it right there at the 5/8, and then right here you just match up your thread, your edge of your fabric, and you just go slow. And then also you want to make sure I had so many pins in it that they weren't getting caught. And then I used the pin to make sure, because that fabric wanted to stretch on top of the cotton. So it came out really good. So I'm very excited. Oh. Now I have to get on to this part, add it to that part, and then match up. These notches are really critical in this situation. So because this is, all the grains are shaped differently. And I'll pin that on, sew it, and I'll have something that resembles a skirt. All right, I have the pins all in there. Matched up the notches really well, because when you take that pattern piece off, this one here, you can't tell what side is up. I hope I actually still have it right. So it's going to look like that. Pretty neat. And then the other side, pretty neat. So I'm going to sew that, and then I'll press this. I have to figure out which way to go. Probably come in this way. And then these are the side seams here. So then I'm going to put these two together and sew this 5/8. That's the side seam there. So that's how that's going to look. And press that open, and then to try it on. Well, got that done. It looks fabulous. Ta-da! I love the trim on it, just like a slight little lace on there. My birds. Oh yeah, I was actually also going to cut out another bird and put it somewhere. I might kind of do it right down at the hem part here. I have to figure that out. First, I have to try this on, see how it fits, see if I need any alterations like I did when I did the muslin of it. And then I also might need to line this, because looks like it wrinkles a lot, and at least the lining will take the body part of the wrinkles. I don't know how that works, but oh wow, I think it comes out fast too, which is good. And then I also have some, they're all pinked and they're still fraying in there, and I don't want to overlock it because I don't want to have edges of thread showing in there either. So I think lining might be the way to go. And then I gotta figure out, tried this on, and it fits perfectly. I can't believe it. You might be wondering, what am I going to do with the waist? There's no zipper, there's nothing. This actually just happens to go right over me. It's kind of a little bit of a shimmy in there, and I probably don't even have to put elastic on it. It'll probably stay still, although once you line it, it gets slippery, so it might. So I think what I'm going to do is put roll over elastic right on the top, because I never tuck anything in, and it will just clamp over that to give it a little extra gather. So see, one of the benefits of having a rectangle body is you just put stuff on. Couldn't go over my head though, that would be funny. So now I was looking in my lining stash, and I'm gonna line it, although it doesn't really need it that bad, but they used to make this fabric called Ambiance. It's a rayon and it's soft, but they don't make it anymore. This was a scrap I have. Then I thought, this is a scrap I have of China silk. That would be the ultimate fabric. So I think I might have to order this, because it's only a little piece. I probably only have to order maybe a yard of China silk and pay $10 to ship it. There you go. But and then there's this fabric. This is an acetate that you can hear it. So you're walking, you can hear it, and then it's a little, I don't know. Who wants noisy clothes? Anyway, so I think I'm going to go to Joann's fabric store tonight. That's all we have in town. And although we have Hobby Lobby, and see what kind of linings they have. Because I haven't really looked at linings. I mean, who lines their clothes anymore? I don't know. So I know they have a little section there. So I'm going to line this. And then I forgot, I also have to make the lining pattern, because I'm not going to do all the same pieces. I'm actually going to make one skirt pattern so that there's no seam in there. It's just straight. So I have to make the lining pattern and see how much lining I need. Then I forgot, where did it go? It's one of these birds. It wasn't one of these birds. It was the bigger bird. Where did he go? Anyway, oh, there he is. So this bird right here, this is from the scraps. I am gonna cut him out. Where'd he go? And put it on that double stick iron-on stuff. I think that's how I'll work it. And put him, like he got, like a bird got out. I have a story going on here. And I'm gonna put it on the edge of this side right here, whichever way he's flying. And then so there'll be this panel and then a bird over there. Skirt art. I love it. So I gotta get, I think I have some of that stuff. I gotta find it. But I'm gonna make my lining pattern and go to the fabric store and then resume this tomorrow. See you then. So I went to the store to get lining, and I actually went twice, and I actually forgot to look at lining. I went there and I got distracted. I found a table, like a hobby table that I wanted. Doing a retreat and I need an extra table, and I got all excited because they could use my coupon. It's a $200 table, so I get it for $100. And then I went this morning to get it, and I still forgot to look at lining. But but it wasn't real important to me because I found this lining in my stash. I had a little bolt of this. It's pretty good. It's black, so you know, it'll be fine underneath this. So it'll be fine. So I just did my little pattern here, simple A-line, and I'm going to sew up the side seams, press them open, put them inside the skirt, baste it on, and I'm going to use this rollover elastic, like that. Pretty simple. And then have my lining all stitched and then placed in, just 2 side seams, really easy. Now I got to put my elastic on, so I just kind of put little, like, I quartered it. I find my halves, and then I put a pin there, and then I just stitch it while I go. It's really easy. I use this Dritz 1-inch fold-over elastic, and this one comes in black and white. There are a lot of elastics out there that are all those different colors, but they're thinner and they're more for hair ties and all. So I was teaching a class at an expo, and they're like, they come in all colors to do these, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not really kind of fit to be on the waist. It's not sturdy enough. But actually, if I would have had a gray one, that would have been pretty cool. I don't really need the elastic so much in this. I mean, it needs to grip a little bit, so actually it probably would have worked fine, but I like this Dritz 1-inch fold over one. So I'm just gonna go and sew this up, and then just gotta hem it. Piece of cake. Oh, I have to put my bird on. That's right. Okay, I'm gonna get this done. All right, I have my zigzag stitch on. I'm actually just going to do a quick zigzag. I actually have the length a little longer and the width a little wider. I might even want to go wider. I'm just going to pop this into the half part and just get it started. There we go. Yeah, I could go a little wider. Yep. And I'm going to hold on to my quarter part there. Roll that. That's it. Do that quarter part, that pin out, and then I got my other quarter part. Make sure that's in there. Just break it down into quarters. It goes really easily. And also, if your under part here is trimmed evenly, that really helps. What I like about this machine is the needle goes in whenever it finishes, so it holds its place. That was easy. It's elastic up there. I have to take my stay stitch out of there. And then the hem, I'm just going to do a simple roll over. Just I rolled it this way, that way. 50, call it a 50-50 hem. Just real simple. And I think I'm going to do this in light gray, switch out my thread, and do a darker gray that matches this part right here. So it's just those 2 parts because I don't want to see the light gray on that hem. So that is how it looks. It's all done. Now I have to put my bird on here, my little bird guy here. And I'm going to use this Wonder Under stuff I've had in my stash for forever. I never heard about it until I started a school for kids, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. It's just this paper with the glue on it, and I cut off a square and ironed the stuff onto the back of it. So this is right there, and then what I'll do is cut out the bird, and then you peel off this first layer of paper, something like that. Ooh, I hope it works. And then it has the adhesive on it, so you peel that off, it has the adhesive, and then you iron it onto your stuff. And I think what I'm going to do, I got him partially cut out here. It's going to kind of go around and then come back in and trim it. So there's parts I'm not going to be able to get to all this, but if it's on the light gray, it should blend in pretty well. Okay. And then pull this layer off. Like that. And I can feel the sticky back, so that's good. Pull that all off. And I just adhere it to my skirt. I think I'll do a little bit more trimming. Okay, I found my spot, kind of a little bit towards the back on the side seam. I'm just gonna press them down. Press that a little bit better. And that's it. There we go. Just really let it press. It's glued on. Sometimes going on the back side too is good. A little heat right here. And then it's done. I'll put it on the dress form. See how, oh, I still have to finish the hem. Yes. I'll put it on the dress form, see how it looks though. Creases out. And then there is my little bird guy, the lonely guy who needs to go back to the forest over here. And I put him kind of a little bit towards the back. I thought it would look cute towards the back of that. So there we go. Really pretty. That turned out so nice. That noise, I gotta get some WD-40 on this. I've tried it before, it doesn't work. But so let me know what you're making. Are you making any creative skirts using panels at all, or have any animal themed skirts you're doing? Those are always so much fun. So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If not, don't bother. And I'll see you in the next video.